Hello, all my friends out in TV land. This is Senior Issues, etc. I'm your host, Vita Verdon. I've got a very interesting show for you today. Hurry up, get your coffee, get your Coke, paper and pencil. You need to take down some information. You know, I have information for you. Okay, have you got it? All right. Now, before I go anywhere, I want to just tell you, in case I just block out on you today, that within the last couple of weeks I've been in an automobile accident and hit by a semi-trailer, and a car rolled into a ditch, and here I'm 86 and my passenger was 88, and we walked out alive. The police, the fire department, and the people around said they never saw an accident like that. So I thank God that I'm here and alive. But if my voice leaves out, be patient. And if you see that happen to me, blow a kiss, and then I'll feel it over the airways and be revived. Now, the show I have for you today is information that you need. So I want you to open up your ears, get your paper and pencil. And this is an organization, Catholic Charities, that has a lot of different programs for seniors that I think most of them you're not aware of. And what we have is the head of the division for seniors. We have this man here, and believe me, I've been talking to him. He's got a lot of smarts up here. This young man, you know, at my age, everything around me is young. I see everything as young. So I think I've been practicing behind the scenes to say his German name. I want you to give a warm welcome to George Schmelter. And I got it correct.
Yes,
God bless you. It's good to have you here today. First of all, I know the audience out there. I want you to look right in that camera and tell them a little bit of dirt about you, a little bit about your background, and I want you to blow some kisses to your wife and kids and whoever you want to. So right in that camera, give them the goods.
So I've been with Catholic Charities for about 3 years now. I am a veteran of the printing business for about 20 years and then went back to school. Luckily, my wife was very supportive. My wife of 32 years, Kristen.
Oh, no, we don't give that. We give, come on, George. That's
Kristen.
it.
And I have two wonderful children, a daughter who's 27.
That goes a kiss.
And her husband. They just celebrated their first wedding anniversary this past week. And my son, who's 18, who's started school at Columbia College downtown. So it's very exciting.
And so tell us a little bit more about you. Come on.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, I was in the printing business, decided to go back to school because that business is a little hard on the body. So went back to school, got my degree, and then found the job at Catholic Charities, and I've been there for, like I say, the past 3 years.
So actually, what is your title at Catholic Charities?
I'm the supervisor for the Information and Assistance Department. Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Okay, so our Information and Assistance Department is actually the first line, basically, for Catholic Charities Senior Services. When calls come in, they come in through our office, and then we assess the situation. Do they need services? Do they just need a referral for other information? You know, we assess them and decide how best to service them.
Well, if I have this correctly, you're the first contact department.
Our office
and
is,
you're
yes.
the head of the first contact.
I'm the supervisor.
Well, I mean, the supervisor is the head.
Well,
yeah, right?
There's a lot of heads around Catholic Charities.
Well, you're the head, though,
of that department, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, you know, people think that Catholic Charities is maybe a church or a religion or something. Maybe you could like break it down for us and actually give a pretty good definition of what Catholic Charities is.
Okay.
Could you do that for us,
Sure,
George?
I will try. So Catholic Charities, yes, we are a religious-based organization. We are affiliated with the Archdiocese of Chicago. We've been in business since 1917, so we've celebrated our 100th anniversary last year. But we are a social service organization, which means you don't have to be Catholic to get our services. We service everybody. Anybody who's in need, we want to help.
That's what social service means.
Yes.
Okay. And so Catholic Charities would be open. Now, at this point, maybe we could give a website and a telephone number just to start with.
Okay. So our website is catholiccharities.net. Our telephone number is 847-546-5733. That's the main intake line. So any inquiries will come in through that line.
So now I know that there's a lot of different programs that Catholic Charities has. Now, do different people have to qualify?
It depends on the program. So one of our biggest programs is the community care program.
What is it called?
It's called the community care program.
Community care. You got that? Community care.
Yes.
That covers a lot of things.
Oh, it does, but basically it's in-home services. So it's in-home help, such as helping with housekeeping and meal preparation, bathing and hygiene assistance, doing laundry, helping with errands, trips to the store, those kinds of things. Anything that the client can't help, excuse me, anything that the client can't do for themselves.
Well, like, okay, in-home care, does that also mean like they could send somebody and you could go to the store with them?
Yes.
Or they go to the store by themselves?
It can go either way. The client can just give the caretaker a list and they can go and do the shopping, or they can take the client themselves.
Okay,
So,
well,
yeah.
now let's just go through just at this in-home care. Well, you know what, before we go into depth, why don't you tell us all the programs, then we'll go into depth
Okay.
in some of the programs. What are some of the other programs?
Okay, so we also have a Meals on Wheels program. We have a medical transportation program, which is called our Transportation Grant, where we can provide rides to doctor's appointments. We have a congregate dining program where
What is this called?
it's called the Congregate Dining Program.
Okay,
So what happens is the participant signs up with us, we give them a little key fob, and we partner with several senior centers and restaurants throughout Lake County, and they can take that key fob in and get a discounted meal. We also do special events throughout the year for those congregate diners, where we have little celebrations like Halloween parties, Christmas parties, those kinds of things.
now, is all this advertised on your website?
Yes. Yes.
So anybody could update it on the website?
Yes, they can get any information on the website. Mhm.
And so you're involved with all these different programs?
Doing the assessments, yes, ma'am.
What do you mean doing the assessments?
Our information and assistance department, we do an initial intake with every client. So
well, maybe we should start right there.
Okay.
What is the intake like? Say, okay, I want to get a cert here. I'm a senior, okay, and you work for Catholic Charities. Now, okay, I'm calling you. Now, what do I have to give?
So basically, we're going to want basic demographic information: your name, address,
birth date,
and Social Security, if we can get that.
Social Security.
Yeah, that's not necessary unless you're signing up for a program. But if we're just giving you information, obviously, we're not going to take your Social Security number.
But if you're signing up for a program, your Social Security
Right.
would be important.
Yes.
Because how much money you're getting.
For the community care program, the in-home program, yes, that there is a requirement on that, and that the senior cannot have assets, liquid assets, of more than $17,500.
Okay, so when you say liquid assets, you mean they would have to have in the bank 17,000?
Right. In the bank, any kind of stocks, bonds,
Does
CDs.
a car cost?
No, your home and a first car do not count towards that limit.
The home and the car don't cost.
Right.
And outside of that, then that would be liquid assets.
That would be a liquid asset, yeah.
All right, but now out of the 17,000, aren't your living expenses taken off of that?
No, it has nothing to do with your income.
It
at
has
all.
nothing to do with that?
No, it's strictly asset based.
Okay, so now that is the requirement
Right.
for the care,
The community care
the
program.
community care program. Okay, are there different requirements for different programs?
Yes, like our medical transportation program and our Meals on Wheels program, the requirements are strictly need. For the transportation grant, you have to be 60 and over. and need transportation to a doctor's appointment. For the Meals on Wheels, the requirements are you be
You know what, we're going to go into that later because what I want to go into right now is Vita's Pearls of Wisdom. Okay, now the first thing that I would like to give out is we've had a horrific week this last week in America with all the bomb scares across the country, but the worst thing came just a few days prior to this show, and that is this came on the Saturday before the show was being filmed of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, during this Jewish ceremony of name changing for a baby. You know, how horrific. And what we all do is just let's give a prayer up. Let's just give a prayer up for the families who are suffering such a loss and such a shock. You know, that should not go on in the United States. So what we send is we send our love out, and love is the thing that God's love transcends everything. So we send it out to that community that the healing force can go forward. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, as of a few days ago of filming of the show, it's open enrollment for your insurance. Now that's till December 31st. This is an important factor. If you go on to my website, seniorissuesetc.org, what you could see is one of the shows from SHIP, which is the Senior Health Insurance Program. Somebody will help you. And you don't necessarily have to go to their office. You can call them on the phone. But if you look it up on the website and find out, because that's an important thing, that what they'll help you match is how much pharmaceutical you have and what your doctors are and what is the best based insurance plan and supplement for you to have for coverage of it. So this is important rules to follow. The next thing is, if anybody is interested in being on this show as a guest, or if you're interested in being a volunteer on this show, I'm going to give you my website and my email. My email is smallcasingvitaverden@comcast.net. That's my email, and my telephone number is area code 847-573-1233. And God bless you that you're patient with my faulty voice. You know, I usually have a much more boisterous voice, but I think I'm doing okay for now. Now we're going to get back to George. Now what we're getting back to, we were talking about transportation. Now this is one of the benefits of Catholic Charities that I enjoy myself, that what I do is I only drive within a small scope area, but many of my doctor's appointments are outside of the scope, either in Skokie or Glenview, you know. So I do require a ride, and it's much cheaper than if you would take a cab, you know, a whole lot cheaper.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the cost like? $5 or $6?
It's a suggested donation of $6 for a round trip.
It's $6, and then you just tip the driver. And we just have gotten such wonderful, accommodated drivers. My friend and I have done this together, and we have gotten such, so that is a really good thing. Let's go through that again, because I believe that I rudely interrupted you.
No,
Let's go through the transportation one.
Okay. So we can offer 2 rides a month to doctor's appointments, and it is strictly medical appointments. But that is anywhere in Cook, Lake, McHenry counties, and we can even go up into Wisconsin as far as Milwaukee.
Well, one thing that I wanted to say is there is a procedure that you go through, and that is you have to call 5 days ahead of time.
5 business days in advance, yes.
5 business days ahead of time to secure it,
Right.
and give yourself enough time that you don't squeeze it in the event that something would happen.
Yes. Obviously, the more lead time we have, the easier it will be to accommodate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so.
Okay, now I don't know if you remember this now, the charges. The charges are, you do not pay the driver.
No.
The charges are billed to you, and it's $6 a trip, and that is a round trip.
Right.
Going, that's like a cab going and coming home.
Yes.
And then just give the driver a tip. So that's a really good deal. Okay, now there was another program that we bypassed real fast. We did
The home delivered meals.
the home delivered meals.
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little. I think we went too fast through that.
Okay.
Okay, let's slow it down.
So we can offer one meal a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays. The meals are delivered hot, and they are delivered between the hours of 10 and 1 every day. That, again, is a donation-based program. So
Well, what is the suggested price? Just to give us a ballpark,
ballpark about $7.
about $7.
Yeah.
So now this meal that you're talking about, that's a hot meal.
Yes.
That would be considered to be a dinner?
Yes, you can consider it a dinner or lunch, however you want to look at it.
It's a hot meal.
But it's a hot meal, yes.
It's a hot meal.
Yes. And
Okay.
that includes, a protein, starch, vegetable, dessert, as well as milk.
Okay, so it's a protein, vegetable,
Mm-hmm.
starch, dessert, and milk.
Yes.
Okay, so you get 5 different items
Mm-hmm.
for $7, and it's delivered right to your home
Yes.
or an apartment
Yes.
every day.
Yes. And for some of our seniors, that's the only contact they actually have is those drivers. We have a great group of volunteers that deliver the meals, and they will check in on the seniors just to see how they're doing, and make sure that they're getting everything they need. We've had several drivers that have actually come back and said, you know what, this senior needs more services. Can you reach out to them? We've had drivers that have made Adult Protective Services reports on some of our clients because they were in bad situations. So
one of the things that I'm thinking of now, George, is you probably need volunteers to deliver. So why don't you give a little pitch out now? Who could they contact on that?
there-
What is a driver? They need to be able to drive a car, right?
Yes, yes. So they have to be obviously a licensed driver. But if they want to volunteer, and we take volunteers for several different services.
Could you name the services so that our audience is aware?
Sure. I mean, we have helpers that volunteer for our warehouse, and especially around Christmas time, our Christmas program, we have a lot of volunteers that help out with that. Obviously, the Meals on Wheels. And if they want to volunteer, that goes through the Waukegan office. So they would need to call the Waukegan office and give them, just tell them that they want to volunteer, and they will set them up with the coordinator over there that
Well,
does.
we don't have the Waukegan number, so could they go on the website and call?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
and-
absolutely. There's a thing on the website that has volunteer opportunities. You just click on that, and that'll get you in the right
Okay,
direction.
so give the website again.
Okay, CatholicCharities.net.
Okay, and the telephone number again.
For the intake line, it's 847-546-5733.
Okay, now I think one of the things that we haven't really mentioned as far as your senior services. Now, is there an age? What is the age to be considered? Because people ask me that all the time. Like, is it 55? Is it 62?
Yeah.
Is it 65?
It's 60 and over for our in-home services, for our Meals on Wheels, the congregate dining, and the transportation.
The age is 60.
Yes.
Okay, now let's recap the programs, and let's recap let's go.
There was actually a couple others that I wanted to mention.
Okay, why don't
because you were mentioning SHIP counseling.
Okay.
For Medicare and Medicaid
Right.
signups. We actually have SHIP counselors on site.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do.
Now, where is the site so people know?
Okay, again, it's in the Round Lake office.
The Round Lake office?
Yes, but if we have people on the eastern side of the county, we have counselors that can come over to the Waukegan office and work with them there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, to recap it now, we only got a minute left. Did you want to squeeze something else in?
We are also the Adult Protective Service Agency for all of Lake County. So any reports of elder abuse or self-neglect come in through our office as well. And we have investigators that go out and investigate those situations.
Let's see. We still have some time left. I thought that our time had gone by. But let's go into that about this abuse.
Okay.
Okay.
So, like I said, we are the Adult Protective Service Agency for Lake County, which means any reports of abuse or self-neglect from anywhere in the county come in through our office. And we have several investigators that go out to investigate the situation.
Okay, well, let's talk about this a little bit, George, because my experience in doing this show, and that we've touched in on this, and I've had other people come in who have dealt with elder abuse, and this is a sensitive area.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have to declare and examine what would be considered elder abuse.
Okay.
That's a vague.
Right. So
it's a very vague.
Yeah, it's a big category. It can include things like financial exploitation.
Okay.
Where someone's taking the senior's money,
Okay.
or has forced them to give access to their bank accounts. Those kinds of things. Credit card fraud. Using their credit cards or debit cards. It's also confinement, which can be simple as like, say you've got a son who doesn't want you to talk to any of your other children. So they restrict your access to the telephone.
So that's like a discrimination thing.
It's considered confinement.
Confinement.
Yeah. Obviously, sexual abuse. That's not as common with most of our cases, but it does happen. Physical abuse, any kind of hitting, slapping, any kind of rough handling of a senior. So, any kind of report like that. And then there's self-neglect, which is if a senior is not able to care for themselves properly. Say there's a hoarding situation, or they're just not physically able to do anything for themselves, and their home and condition has deteriorated.
Well, my theory on it is we are our neighbor's keeper, and that the word that we've heard like the past week a lot, if you see something, say something.
Yes.
So even if, now I think what I want to encourage people, because people are intimidated that they're going to like be bossy and get in there and say something out of turn. But it's better that you say something and there's nothing to it, that you don't say something and something bad happens.
Yeah, it's always better to report it. And you can make the reports anonymously. So if you don't want anybody contacting you after you've made the report, you can make that request, and our caseworkers won't contact you afterwards. But it's always better to report it than not to report it. A majority of these cases go unreported, which is really sad. I saw a statistic that it was like 5 out of 7 cases of abuse never get reported.
Why do you think that? If people are shy or they don't want to become involved?
I think a lot of it is I don't want to be involved. Yeah, and a lot of it is I'm afraid that it's going to come back and makes the situation worse. Yeah, that's a lot too. Is if you see your sister taking advantage of your mother, and you say something, it could make the situation worse. She could get even more violent. But again, it's better to report it than not. So hopefully we can get the senior out of that predicament.
Okay, now that is all the programs. Now let's go through an assessment that I want them out there sitting on the couch and watching us to catch what's available to them. First of all, tell us again, what is Catholic Charity, so that they know what service they're dealing with.
Okay, so we are a social service organization. So we provide in-home services. We can provide referrals to other services if we can't make the services for you. We do rides, we do home delivered meals, we do a little bit of everything. Our SHIP counselors can help with Medicare and Medicaid signups. And we have fun programs too, like our congregate dining program, where people can get together in groups and have a party and a really nice time.
And the telephone number?
847-546-5733.
Okay, now let's go through the programs. Care and concern?
Okay. Community care program, which is in-home services.
Okay.
Housekeeping services,
All right,
basically.
now, what are the requirements there? I want them to be sure.
Sure.
They want to know.
So there is an asset limit for that program. For a
Okay.
single person, it's an asset limit of $17,500.
Okay,
For a couple, it would be $35,000.
okay.
For our Meals on Wheels program,
Well, no, let's wait a minute there.
Okay.
Okay, and the care and concern, now, what do the services include? Let's list
okay.
all of them so they're aware.
so it's housekeeping, meal preparation, assistance with bathing and hygiene, doing laundry, trips to the store, and a lot of the little daily living activities that are required by seniors.
Like taking them out shopping? and
Absolutely, absolutely.
Taking them,
Making sure they take their medication.
straightening their medication?
Well, we can't distribute the medication, but we can make sure that they take it.
Oh, I see.
So
but they could pick up their medication from the store.
oh yes, absolutely.
But you couldn't, they're not a doctor.
They can't dispense it, right?
They can't, and they're not a nurse.
Right.
All right, okay, so that's that program. That program does have a financial cap on it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that one. Okay, what is the next one now?
The home delivered meals, and that one does not have an asset limit on it. It's strictly a needs-based program, so it's anybody who's unable to prepare meals for themselves or have no transportation to get to food. So they would qualify.
And so that is still a suggested,
It's a donation
a
program.
donation
yes.
program. The suggested donation is approximately said, but if the person doesn't have the money.
We've never refused meals for somebody for the lack of ability to
Okay,
pay.
so we got that one. Okay, what is the next one?
Our medical transportation program, where we can provide 2 rides a month to doctor's appointments, and that's anywhere in Lake, Cook, and McHenry counties.
Okay, one of the question I wanted to ask, how far of a radius? About 50 miles?
Like I say, anywhere in Lake, Cook, and McHenry, and even up into Wisconsin as far as Milwaukee.
So that could be a little better than 50 miles.
Yes.
So it's okay.
The longer the rides, obviously we would not be able to provide 2 rides a month because
Right.
we are
Because of
restricted
the
by our
length of the
funding.
ride.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is, that's approximately $6 for a round trip.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and, all right, and what is the next, and then the abuse?
We have our Adult Protective Services program where we go out and investigate incidences of elder abuse or self-neglect.
Okay,
And then we have our SHIP program, our SHIP SHAP program, which is Medicare and Medicaid applications, helping seniors find the plans that are most appropriate for them.
okay, the telephone number one more time.
847-546-5733.
Call him. When you come to the end of your rope, you tie a knot and you hang on. And you know why? Because what we want you to do this week is catch the spirit, because the best is yet to come. God bless you. We love you.